Most people in America, they view the car as a terrible investment. You talk to financial advisors, they will tell you the car is the worst investment you can make. But for you, you found a way to make money with almost every car that you bought. You bought 15 cars, 13 of the 15 cars you've been able to sell for more than what you bought them for, and you get to drive them for essentially free the entire time. And these are not cheap cars. These are high-end, luxury, exotic cars.
I bought 15 cars in my life. I made money on 13. I lost on 2.
13 of the 15?
Yes.
So which Ferrari did you sell for the most money, and what was the gain in exit price?
I think the exit price at the end was between 100 or 120 total.
120,000 more than what you paid for it? And how long did you drive it for?
We drove it for 3.5 years.
Damn. So, which Ferrari was that?
A Ferrari F12.
All right, guys. Welcome to another episode of The Report. Today, I got someone special. I got someone who actually founded the Exotic Car Club that I'm personally a part of. This car club has changed my life, has changed my network and ability to network with higher net worth people that are thinking bigger, people that are thinking larger. I got none other than my man, Clem Connor. Clem, welcome to the show for the second time.
Thank you, Rich, for having me. I'm really excited to be back. A lot of things happen in a year, so we can talk a little about the evolution of what happened.
When you came on, initially you had 5 chapters, and now you've scaled to 21 chapters. I can't wait to talk about it, and there's so many things I want to talk about. But first and foremost, we had an election night last night. I think the people have spoke. They don't want the bureaucracy. They don't want the red tape. They're sick of all the stuff that has been going on, shoving vaccines on people, shutting down businesses, all that sort of stuff. The people have spoken. They don't want it any longer. It was a landslide. Trump won. And so I think the economy is about to change. I think we're getting the country back, and I think this bodes very well for business owners, real estate investors, all that sort of stuff. But my question to you is, as a founder of Fastlane, do you feel like Trump winning the election is going to change the landscape for you and all of your members moving forward, knowing that a lot of your members are business owners, entrepreneurs?
I don't talk about politics. I'm neutral. I live in California. I have a lot of members who are from both sides. Everywhere in the world, we have a lot of chat with a lot of debate. We shut down everything right away because as an entrepreneur, business owner of something that big, I have to, respect both my members. So don't want to say if it's good or bad. I think regardless for businesses, it's going to be good. But, I want to respect both opinions in Fastlane right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I respect that. So, dude, congrats on your new car that's coming here soon.
Thank you.
The brand new Lamborghini Revuelto. Tell me about that car, man.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool story because, O'Gara and Lamborghini, especially O'Gara, helped us to start Fastlane a couple of years ago. I was doing marketing for them, and they started to sponsor us right away when we started the club. And we had a really strong relationship with them. I had Ferraris, I had Porsche, and when the Revuelto came out, I was obsessed with it. Right away, I was like, this is a car I need to have. And with the relationship I have with Lamborghini, they helped me to get one of the earliest one.
Really?
So I'm getting the number 5 in San Diego, something like number 10 in California, and number like maybe 20 in US. So it's absolutely ridiculous. For the marketing, for the brand image of Fastlane, it's going to be really good. They invited me at the Lamborghini factory this summer. So we went with Nicole, my girlfriend, to visit it. It was really cool because we met corporate, we saw the car over there, we saw the manufacturer, we saw the marketing department, we talked about Fastlane. So it was a really, really good advertising for us. And this weekend, actually on Friday, I'm going to Thermal for the weekend in Palm Springs, where we're opening our next chapters.
Nice.
Invited by Lamborghini Corporate, all inclusive for the weekend.
Wow.
We're staying at the Parker. We're doing racetrack all weekend with Revuelto owners on Revuelto. It's not even my car. It's cool because I'm going to show up with one, but it's only people who have a Revuelto. And I'm going to meet people that I will have never had the chance to meet because that's the top tier of the customer of Lamborghini. It's a car that right now is really hard to get, and the waiting list is crazy. The market is actually way over MSRP right now, but obviously I'm not going to sell the car. But this car is a really good marketing tools for me. So right now he's going to Thermal this weekend to do the racetrack. We're going to have a lot of people, so they're going to respect automatically when we have the car. And after the car next weekend, he's going to Los Angeles. We have an event with like 45 cars so far. It's in 2 weeks, so we're probably going to get to 60. And I'm going to drive the car a lot in LA, park it on Rodeo Drive, park it at a restaurant.
Sure.
We're going to have fast lane logo everywhere. And, you know, I for sure going to get a few members in LA because of this car. I'm probably going to talk to more sponsors. That's going to open to like new doors. Last time I was driving my 296. I talked to someone who was interested into opening a chapter in a different country. So, you know, all these tools for the car is incredible. So shout out to Matt Newhouse for that from O'Gara in San Diego, who really helped me with the car. We're getting the delivery of the car tomorrow night. He's already at Enrico for PPF. We're doing ceramic coating on the car, the tinted windows, and be sure this car is going to be bulletproof, because it's going to be I had a story about a year ago. I was in Austin and I was driving an Aventador that it's completely wrapped, and a young kid came to see me and say, "Hey, is that the mascot of Fastlane?" And I'm like, I never thought about that. And I was like, no, it's just a member's car who give me the car for the weekend. He said, that's sad, because this car is a lot on social media. So I want to have a car that can travel the world and pretty much people recognize as they recognize Fastlane. So the new mascot of Fastlane going to be that. Also, owning a 1,000 horsepower car going to help me to attract members with more hypercar into the club. We can travel together, do hypercar rallies. So, you know, that's going to help to also push the club.
A lot of things baked in here. One, I love that you said, hey, I'm using it for marketing purposes. I think this is one of the most overlooked attributes for any entrepreneur out there or anyone listening to this podcast right now, is when you go and get that nice car or you go and get that nice boat, if you use it right as a marketing tool for social media, it's going to get more eyeballs. You're doing live events, it's going to get more eyeballs, and you can use it as a vehicle to make more money. And so I love that. And then from a tax perspective, there's some tax loopholes baked in there as well.
So it's a really good subject, the tax loophole. A lot of people ask me all the time, how do I structure? There is a video from the Stradman online, and he talked about the benefit to lease versus owning and everything. And I highly recommend this video. And pretty much just say, if you buy or lease a luxury car, like an exotic car, you should lease it, because it's pretty much a write-off because you're renting the car. So it's really good for your business, especially when it's marketing or someone like that with a YouTuber can use it to make for some content. If you have a car over 6,500 pounds, you should absolutely buy it, because you can fully write off the car, even the first year, what is
qualifies
absolutely
for code
great.
section 179.
Yeah. If you buy a luxury car, an exotic car, you can only depreciate $25,000 per year. So pretty much on a $5,000 payment, let's say on a Ferrari, it's going to be about half of it. So it still has some benefit, but it's not going to have the benefits on leasing the car.
That's a good question. I'm glad that you brought it up. So just to be clear, it's, as a business owner, if you're going to go buy a nice Lamborghini or Ferrari, is it better to lease it or to purchase it?
It depends. If you buy it personal, you should buy it, because I think you're bringing more equity, especially if you buy a really luxury high-end car that is rare. For example, if you buy a Ferrari Pista that is $500,000 today, and you know that the car is going to appreciate over time, I will probably buy it. You have to know that you pay $50,000 of tax at front, the 8%. But the reality, if you keep the car 4 or 5 years, you're going to have more equity into the car, because you're going to pay less. The reality, if you change car every year, 2 years, 3 years like me, and you want to put it more on the business, and don't get me wrong, for example, my Turbo S is, I pay it personal. So it's not business oriented. I have another car that I pay, a Porsche Taycan that we pay personal. That's also really important, and it's another subject. But I think if you change every 2-3 years, especially on the high-end cars, where it's going to be $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, you don't want to pay the tax at front. You're going to pay it on the monthly, on the residual. Plus, you can put it on your business. So this way, it's going to be better. Yeah, expensive. And also, it's less liability for your business if something happens, because it's a lease. It's just a rental, pretty much.
Okay, so to recap, if you were going to buy a new car every 2 to 3 years, and especially if it's going to be with your business, it makes more sense to lease. But if you're going to own this car for 5, 6, 7 years, it makes more sense to own it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I had a regret. My F12, I leased it. I kept the car 4 years. He appreciated about $100,000, $70,000.
In 4 years?
Yeah, in 4 years.
Wow.
So it was crazy.
What kind of car was it?
A Ferrari F12.
Okay, so what's the key to buying an exotic car? I've heard of exotic cars going up in value. I think we saw in 2020, in 2021 during COVID, there was a shortage of manufacturer, and obviously For obvious reasons. There was a shortage of just product out there, and car prices were jumping. But what's the key in today's climate where things have, somewhat stabilized from a supply standpoint? What is the key to buying an exotic car that will go up in value?
So this is a really good question, and I will ask if my members are listening, come see me if you have a question when you buy a car. I'm not getting paid. I'm just happy to help, because it's a lot of opinion. I bought 15 cars in my life. I made money on 13. I lost on 2.
13 of the 15?
Yes. And pretty much a lot of my car, people are like, how do you drive such a nice car? For example, my F12 paid for 2 years of my 296. My previous Turbo S paid for 4 years of my new Turbo S. So the reality of it, I had a Range Rover, I managed to make money on the Range Rover. So that was 2021. That was a different period of life. But I think today you still have cars that can appreciate over time or not lose a lot of money. For example, if you buy, let's say, a 2018 Porsche GT3, you might lose $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a year, but the car going to stay the same because the new model are getting so expensive that the previous one are getting more rare and they're holding value. For example, a McLaren 600 LT, they didn't make that many of them. It's a really, really good car. Today is about $200,000. I don't see this car going to $150,000. So it's really looking at a niche, see how they depreciate, see their bottom line about it, know that they can, it's a stock. You never know. For example, the stock today with Trump is crazy. A week ago, we could not have predicted, or I would have bought every Tesla stock I could have had in my life.
Yeah.
But the reality is the car, you can somehow predict it. For example, if you buy a little older generation with a manual on certain model, you know about it. For example, the Ferrari Pista today, it's a $500,000 car. A year ago, they were about $420,000. So in a year, they appreciated about $80,000. You can drive the car, still enjoy it. We know that today's V8 twin turbo are doing really well over time. The flat six, naturally aspirated, doing really well. So that is also something that you want to keep a little in mind. And the hybrid tend to depreciate way faster right now. The American don't like electric. They don't really love hybrid. I think they're going to have to embrace that a little. So you need to find a niche and pretty much go into it. And, I got a Urus to get the Revelto I was telling you. Got the car and drove it pretty much for 6 months for free. Sold it the same price, got it at a really good price, did a PPF. So it's interesting. If you find a good car, you have a G63. If you get a G63 at MSRP, you know that after 2 years, pretty much you're going to be able to sell the car with a small turn down on price. It's not 2021, but you're not going to depreciate like a Range Rover that is the same price. It's, let's say, 200. It's going to be 100 after 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So you need to look at the car, Mini how rare is it, and using your connection to get also some of those cars.
I'm glad you brought this up because most people in America, they view the car as a terrible investment. You talk to financial advisors, they will tell you the car is the worst investment you can make. But for you, you found a way to make money with almost every car that you bought. You bought 15 cars, 13 of the 15 cars you've been able to sell for more than what you bought them for, and you got to drive them for essentially free the entire time. And these are not cheap cars. These are high-end, luxury, exotic cars. And so I guess I'm curious, how much does it have to do with like the supply of this vehicle? So for example, I have an Audi R8, and the Audi R8 got discontinued after the 2022 year, I believe. And so, or maybe it's a 2023 model year. And so because it's discontinued, it's more likely to hold its value than if they continue producing them. How much does the supply factor into the pricing?
What did I say 10 minutes ago before the conversation? You have a Audi R8. I said, don't sell it right now. Because the reality, I think long term, the R8 going to go back up in value at some point. It's a really incredible car, drives really well. It's super good looking, really comfortable. The sound system is amazing. And it's a last V10 from going to be forever. The replacement might be electric, might be something else. And it's a question, you bought it at the right moment. Maybe you bought it a little high, but now they don't building it. They are not building it. So long term, you're going to go back up in value. So it's a car I will hold, for example.
It's an entry-level exotic car. It got me into the car club. But I tell you what, man, everywhere I drive that thing, I get people are turning their heads. Like I was at the mall last week and I drove it to Fashion Valley Mall, and I come out from shopping. I'm walking out to my car and there's like 5 people surrounding the back of the car with their phones out, checking it out. So it's, even though it's an entry-level exotic car, and even though it's discontinued, like people still get their phones out and take photos of it.
And that's a really good point. So for example, I talk about how you make money 2 times. Me, I have my business, so it's marketing, using the car for marketing. You know, we create more content, we do videos, we go out, we meet people. I can go to a Cars and Coffee. If I go to a Cars and Coffee with a Revelto, I'm gonna get 1-2 members. But for example, we have members with LaFerrari. I bring that to Fastlane, I'm gonna get even more high quality members. And the second part is how much money you're gonna make on the car, and you know, be sure you don't lose money, but also the attention, what you get in the street, the icebreaker, we were talking about that, and be sure you're gonna attract really, really, really good people. And sometimes it's not the people have an idea of a Ferrari. Oh, I'm gonna meet so many people and everything. Sometimes rarest car can help you to meet better people. For example, if you drive a 993 turbo from Porsche today, or Turbo S, the car is from 1996. Sorry. This car is about $300,000-$400,000. You're going to attract way more people who know about Porsche than driving a way more modern Porsche. So special models sometimes going to attract even sometimes better people, because yes, it's going to be more niche, but those niche going to open bigger door because they know about the car.
Yeah. So just to clarify, if someone's listening to this podcast right now, Clem, and they're like, hey, I want to go buy one car to where I have the best possible chance to make money and drive it for free for the next 2 years and make money on the sale, what's the best method for that individual to go find that right car to buy?
Go online, do your research, read a lot, listen a lot of podcasts. For example, Duke de Muro has a really good podcast about what car to buy or not. And I think every car has a budget. Under $100,000, I will say buy a Lotus. I think it's the best entry-level car for any young.
For less than 100 grand?
Yeah, for people who like want to get into the market. Usually you don't really lose money on this car.
Say the car name again? That's under 100 grand?
Okay. The Lotus. And
that's brand new, less than 100?
No, it's used, but it's a really good entry car. I think
what are those brand new?
Maybe 120, 130.
That's
I don't want
bad.
to give from 100 to 200. I will get to Porsche GT3, Porsche Turbo S, a little slightly used, to 17, 18. So it's one you're not going to lose a lot of money over time, and you have a really fantastic car. For 200,000, I will get 200 to 300. I will get maybe a 600 LT. I will get a 488 Ferrari, a 458 Ferrari. So this one will be a really good purchase long term, especially now with a hybrid. Ferrari doesn't have this V8, so long term it will be really good. And after you're getting into a ballpark where 300, 400, 500,000, people know what they are buying at that time, you know. So I don't have to give advice, but there's so many good cars for every price point. I will take something.
Would you throw the R8 in there for less than 200?
Yeah, I think the R8 is a fantastic car. I had one. I made money actually out of it.
You made money in that car?
Yeah.
What did you buy it for? What did you sell it for?
I don't want to give, but I think we bought it for $235. We drove it for 7 months and we sold it for $232 or something like that. So if you include tax, papers, and everything, was really, really good. Especially it was a high-end one. I did marketing about it. I made new members. I went to Audi Club. I took it to Cars and Coffee. I really enjoyed it. We did some content for Instagram, YouTube. So the car literally paid for itself, and it was a cool experience to have one.
Out of the 13 cars you drove for free and sold for a profit, which of those 13 cars made you the most money?
The Ferraris, for sure. So Ferrari, if you're at the right place at the right time, they can go up like crazy, really fast. That? Because it's demand and supply. For example, during COVID, you could not find any Ferraris, and my 488 went up about 100K, the F12 100K, and the F12 was different. I paid the car for 3 years. So when I was at the end of my 3 years, the check was really, really interesting. When I sold my 488, I needed the money. It was a little different. It was 2021. Business was hard for everybody. Before we had this big rebound. So this time I sold it a little faster, but if I hold the car...
Business is about to get easier here in the next 4 years, man. I know you don't want to talk about it, but it's about to get easier.
It's for in real estate, it's going to be really amazing. So, but you know, it's for every budget, that's good. But the cars that I always love and is the Porsche Turbo S. I had 4, and I think it's the most reliable car, a perfect car for a rally, perfect car for a drive.
So which Ferrari did you sell for the most money, and what was the gain in exit price?
I think the exit price at the end was between 100 or 120 total.
120,000 more than what you paid for it. And how long did you drive it for?
We drove it for 3.5 years.
Damn. So, which Ferrari was that?
A Ferrari F12.
F12, okay.
Was really unique because it was the last, so they made it from, I think, 13 to 17.
And which year was this one? 17.
I sold it with 9,990 miles. It's really important to know where you are on the mileage with Ferrari. And the car was a triple yellow, and that's a really rare color. The paint job is $40,000. So every people who have a triple yellow fight for the car. So when we put it on the market, in 1 week, we got 4 offers. So at that time, we were just playing. And I remember the dealer called me, was like, oh, put it down 10K. I'm like, no, the car will sell. And he sold in about 2 weeks. So
what's the reason everyone wants the triple yellow color?
It's triple layer of yellow. It's really rare. It's the yellow. Not a lot of people know, but it's an original color from Ferrari. They change it
so
later.
It's classic color.
So it's a classic color. If you look at the logo, it's yellow. So they changed it after when they were racing in Europe. Each country had a color, and that's when they attributed red for Italy. But at the beginning, the original Ferraris are yellow.
Ah, interesting.
So it's something really original, and people who have, the guy who bought it has, I think, 15 Ferraris, so he really wanted this car.
So you sold it for $120,000 more. What did you end up paying for that car when you bought it?
I don't really remember, so I don't really want to. I think around 250, 270, and we sold it for about 320 or 350.
And what do you think that car was worth today if you bought it today?
It would be the same. There's no difference. Yes, it will not go up in value, but it will probably not go down. The V12 right now are really rare. So we're talking about investment. Every V12 that you are buying right now, I think long term you're gonna do good. So the Aventador for something like you will be incredible. It's not a really amazing car to drive on daily basis, but you don't drive a lot. So when you take it on weekend, it's good. I think you can find them at really good price right now. They're going to go back up in value. Ferrari F12, the Ferrari 812 with a V12 with a replacement of the F12, I think is a really fantastic purchase right now. The car went down about 30% last year, and they're going to go back up in value. They just replaced it with a 12 cylinders that's going to come out right now. So a lot of people sell them. So it's going to hit bottom and go back up again.
It's interesting because, like I said, financial advisors will tell you the car is the worst investment out there, but you just proved there's a way to buy cars and not only drive them for free for 2, 3, 4 years, but also make money. We're not talking about a couple $1,000s. We're talking $120,000 if you pick the right car. And I've seen this in the boat game as well. Certain people that know boats can buy yachts and they can drive the yacht for 3, 4, 5 years for free and sell it for a profit. So there's a way to do it, and that's. I think if you're going to do it, you might as well buy a car that's going to, make you a little bit of a return. That's how I see it.
I have a story about that. I have two, actually. When I bought my first Porsche Turbo with my own money, I was trying to sell to get a contract for my marketing agency at that time for about 6 months. The guy was really, really hard. It was a protein company, and for 6 months, we could not sign the guy. 10 meeting, 15 meeting. And the last meeting I go there to try to sign him, I show up with my Porsche Turbo. The car was from 2009. I parked the car super far away. And the guy at that time walked his dog and said, "Is that your car?" I'm like, "Yes, it's my car." I said, "Wow, that's impressive." We go back in his office. He signs a contract. He's been trying to get this contract for 6 months. And I'm like, in my country, in France, if you show up with a car, you never get the contract. It's impossible. Sign the contract. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? 24 hours passed. He called me and he said, "By the way, can you help me to get the same car with a marketing contract?" He ended up being a client for 2.5 years. He made a lot of money together. He sold the business at the end, and the car paid for itself just with that client. I think it was maybe a $7,000 contract. The payment on that car was $1,500 a month at that time. It was incredible. My other friend, Fatih, told me a story, and that always resonated to me. He sold his company, bought a yacht in Turkey. Really, really nice yacht.
Turkey is one of the best places to buy yachts.
Yeah.
I've been there twice. Love Turkey.
And he's using his yacht all the time. And he said, "I overextended a little myself, but you know what? It was good." And he said, I go to a restaurant, and next yacht at the port, one of my friend introduced me a guy who is like, because we have pretty much the same yacht. We end up becoming good friends. He had a real estate deal. I jumped into it. I made more money with that real estate deal than the value of my yacht. He said the yacht was the best investment. And how many stories he has where he invite clients, he invite friends, and it's a good way to break the ice. The boat, my dad told me the day I got my first boat, he says, this is the best investment in your life. I'm going to explain you why. You're going to be out. You're going to bring clients, friends, members, whatever, to the boat and not have these things where you bring them to a restaurant. It can be awkward. No, you're going to do wakeboarding, wake surfing. You're going to be, I don't drink, but they're going to have a beer, have a good time, be a little more relaxed. You're going to be on the sun. You're going to have to stay in shape because you don't want to be in a boat where, you are overweight. You're going to be outside. You're not going to go out because you're going to want to be on the boat again the next morning. And the investment going to pay for itself. And every boat that I had, it's pretty much helped me first to be a better person, but attract really, really good people in my life, pretty much. And it's the same for you. You can bring investors. You can go to have dinner. It's you told me a story where you went to Catalina Island, met for investors. So boat, cars, plane, and again, can be really good investment.
Yeah, I agree. I think from the boat aspect, there might not be a better vehicle out there that's great for networking and entertaining. The private jet thing is great, but it's like, how often are you going to really fly the private jet? I'm totally cool just getting a first class ticket. You're not going to entertain people in the private jet. Yes, it is a flex, but think how much more fun and how many more memories and how many more like relationships you can build and experiences that you can have on a boat versus a jet. That's me personally.
Yes, but think about marketing again, and we talked about it last time. Imagine if you had Summer's Capital on your jet at the airport right now in San Diego. How many people will see your plane? And the really good people. I saw the jet of
Grant Cardone
and the marketing is really good. You know the guy, you respect him, you don't respect him. You see in jet in Nice, you're like, okay, that guy is a really big guy. So I call a jet a time capsule because it's for people who really travel a lot. We were talking about it this year. I did 37 events in the world. So I went to Monaco. I went to Florida 3 times. I'm going to go back in 3 weeks. I was there yesterday. I mean, if you have a plane, you can work in your plane. You are not in airport. Is the reality? I don't have the money for it right now. But the reality, if I had, that would be for me the most important thing.
I know 4 people personally that own private jets. Grant's one of them. And then Chris Crone is another one. Dan Martell, who's been on this podcast, is another one. So those 3 have been on the podcast. And then the 4th that I know is Tony Azar. He's my mentor. Owns about 5,000 apartment units out of the Southeast. He actually owns 2 jets, but he has both of those jets as kind of a charter service. And so he tries to make money, but he says it's like on a good year, they'll break even.
But we talked about it. So one of our big member, his name is Mark Minovich. He owns 15,000 apartments. Maybe you should have him on your podcast.
Yeah, I'd love to. What's his name?
Guy. Mark Minovich.
Okay.
And
he lives here in San Diego?
No, he lives in between LA and Miami. He has a 95 feet yacht in Miami that he rents. He said pretty much he doesn't make money, but it's really good for him for business. And I say, why you don't have a jet? He said, I had a jet, Clement. But first of all, was you were losing so much money. When you had the jet for half of the time is at the shop, you cannot rent it, so you're losing money. And it's way more fun to have a boat. You can have as many friends as possible, business opportunity. You can sleep in it. You can travel to the Caribbean. I mean, it's way better. So I have about, I would say, 50 to 100 members who have jet not in San Diego, in Fastlane in the world.
You have 50 members of Fastlane that own jets?
Yeah, probably. Oh. But that's the top pretty much 3% of Fastlane members. The reality of them...
Anyone in the San Diego chapter own a jet?
Oh, a few of them,
yes.
Okay.
I
have crazy story with jet owners. Like one of them had a watch. I called him and I said, hey, one of your watch getting delivered in Carmel. He said, okay, let's go in 1 hour. The jet was ready. We flew for the day. We came back. He did the same when I sold my business about it. So that was really, really, really good. We flew for the day. Like we have a few, and it's funny because he's not the people who are going to flex on social media. He's not the people you're going to see the most to events. They're really
not
hard
going
to catch
get
up.
attention.
No, but the reality is like they and those people use their jet a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, I got invited a couple weeks ago to take a private jet from Carlsbad Airport out to Scottsdale to shoot some content. One of my buddies, Kurt, Captain Kurt, who was on the podcast recently, but he like runs like a jet charter service. He's a pilot. And he was like, hey, dude, if you want to shoot some content, he goes, I got a dope private jet. I can fly you from basically Carlsbad to Scottsdale. We could shoot a YouTube video, shoot some content. Now I was like, dude, I wish I could, but I'm too busy to just take a joyride like that on a weekday. It was a Wednesday morning, so I didn't do it. But yeah, it's interesting. You start hanging around people that have the jets and these yachts, and it starts to become more and more of a normal thing. Real quick before we move on,
and we were talking about that. The important is obviously to be motivated by those guys, but not try to impress them. What is really, really important, because you have the motivation and after you have the flex. And the problem, those people are so big compared to us that it's really important to show that you have different, lifestyle and that people understand. So everybody wants to be friends with other people, and obviously you have different tier, but you need to be motivated by them and not try to be like them. That's really, really important.
So what's your take on that? I mean, I always talk about getting in rooms where your dreams are others' realities. It's the quickest way to level up your life. Do you think it's like, what are the pros and cons? Do you think it's good or bad to hang out with high net worth friends?
It's incredible. I mean, the motivation, I'm 90% of the time, I'm the stupidest person in the room. That the reality, those guys are like a good motivation. They help me a lot, really good advice. The important is not try to impress them and understand that those people are on different calibers. For example, the guy who has LaFerrari in Fast Lane, he's number one in the listing of Ferrari in Beverly Hills. I would probably never be in his level. This is so big that, yes, you can work really hard and you can get close to it. But what is important is that you get motivated, but you not get eye-blinded. And I know a lot of people who are like trying to flex by spending a lot of money. You asked me the question before, you say, why you're not having more cars at the moment? Because I don't want to live above my means. I think having 2 good cars, sometimes 3 is good, but not get to the 5, 6, 7, 8 to try to impress people. The reality, you can only drive 1 car at a time. If you drive 1 good car, people don't know if you have others. So it's really important to really do the distinction between be friend with those people and invite them sometime to dinner, invite them to things, but not be there to like try to flex in front of them, because 1, they know, and 2, you are not in the same game. That guy Mark, for example, who has 15,000 condo, if I start today, I will probably not reach him even in years. He started when he was 20 years old. But that guy has the best advice for fast lane that I can hear about it. Last time he gave me an advice that was really smart. I was with a really successful real estate guy this weekend, and we heard something from a chapter that they didn't have enough events, and he came up with an idea, and he said, why you don't put a honorary president for each chapter? This person, we are voted for 1 year, he can get maybe sometime free event, free membership or things like that. And he doesn't run the club, but he does catering events sometimes. He's like motivates member to come. He's going to feel the sense of responsibility. I didn't come with that idea. My really successful friend gave me this idea. I introduced that to some owners this morning. They said, Clement, this is the best idea we heard in years. So, is those small little change in a business can change everything. When we started to implement more women in Fastlane, more drive and everything, it's not like we did that naturally. At the beginning, it was an idea to say, how can we have more, and implement it came with some idea from external. I listened to it, I processed it, we implement that, and we see what is working or not. And sometimes we try to do things in Fastlane. For example, if I do happy hour in Fastlane and it's free, people don't show up. Ask me why, I have no idea. Last time we did a happy hour with some members, and we try to do things that are a little different. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But at least those really successful people can come with small ideas that's going to change. And I'm sure you can tell me stories where, on your boutique hotel or mastermind, someone said, hey, just do that. And that changed your whole business.
Oh, totally. Much. Sometimes it's the messaging. It's the way you frame certain things. Just tweaking a couple words in the messaging can be the difference between being mediocre and just like, hey, having a ton of like sales, you know what I mean? So it's big. The one thing I'll say about being in the right rooms. For me, I'm a big fan of it. Every time that I've leveled up my network, I've leveled up my life. And I will also say this, every time I force myself to spend up, whenever I'm on the fence about buying something, for example, like, you know, I'll give you an example. So like, let's say you want to go buy a nice car and you're like, hey, like I've never had like a nice car. I've never spent this much money on a car before. I don't know if I should do it. I'm like, no, go do it. Because if you're meant to be in this game, it will force you to think bigger and you will figure it out and it will change your perspective. And so where I live, like I live in a really nice spot right now. My rent is it's like quadruple what it ever was. And my spot right now is quadruple of what my previous place was. And I was like, for a little bit, I was like, I don't know if I should do it. And I ended up doing it. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me because it allowed me to think bigger. It allowed me to change my perspective. It allowed me to increase my network. And so it made me more money.
Exactly.
The boat's another one.
And it's a confidence that you're going to have to yourself. Driving a nice car, having a nice watch, dressing well. I say to every people, invest in yourself the way you dress. You and I, we dress the same. You're never going to see me. Look, I wear a black t-shirt, a jean, black shoes. I'm not going to be here. It's like small change can make you believe in yourself, meet good people, and really attract that. And on the room is really important also to not forget your other friends, the people that you are motivating, you know. I have a lot of friends who are not as successful, who cannot be in fast lane, but I'm never forgetting those friends. I'm hanging out with them, I'm motivating them, I'm helping them. This is really also important to not just have mentor, but to be the mentor of someone that needs help, because a young entrepreneur can arrive tomorrow and say, hey, Rich, I want to open some hotel. You're going to change his life and he will help you at some point beyond what you can imagine. So those one are important. Being on the room where you are not the smartest, but sometimes being in the room where you're going to help all your friends on both sides.
Totally. You never know who you're inspiring out there. And I'll also say this, is like each time you level up your life, like I feel like life gets overwhelming before the level up. And so for anyone listening to this to where like, hey, like things are overwhelming right now, I'm like, no, it's a good fucking thing. If you're feeling overwhelmed, that's a good thing because it means that you're about to level up. And each time you figure out the keypad to get through that challenge that you are currently facing, you will always unlock a new door and find a new level that opens up a whole new room for you. And each time you level up, that's the new baseline. So when you go get that nice car, that's the new baseline. When you go fly first class, that's the new baseline. When you go get that penthouse, that's the new baseline. When you go get the yacht, that's the new baseline, right? And so each time you do that, it's like, okay, that's the new normal. And then you build from there.
But what is important is that it doesn't eat you. Because the problem about it, you're getting ready that it doesn't eat you alive. So the problem about it, if you say, oh, I cannot live without those toys, you're getting sad when you don't have them anymore. And the baseline is really important, but you need also to be sure you are detached from it. I'm not attached to material. I can sell a car tomorrow. When I sell them, I'm happy. It's been a transaction. It's been a good memory. If I sell like a watch or if I sell anything, you need to realize that this thing has been a journey and you can let it go.
Here's the combo. Here's the deadly combo. Meet someone that's ambitious and humble.
Exactly.
If you can have those two things, that is a deadly combo.
And about motivation, you and I, we have the same. You probably get hundreds of messages a day of young entrepreneur who wants to be like you. In Fastlane, I have so many stories of young entrepreneurs that messaging us and say, one day I will be part of your club. And I have this story to one of my really good friends, Sebastian. About 5 years ago, he sold pest control. He has 70 people working for him today. It's incredible. It's like major success. You met him, 27 years old. And the guy 5-6 years ago say, when we created Fastlane, he said, one day I will be part of it. Joined a year ago. You know, young entrepreneurs, it's a really good motivation. This year, he bought my old boat. And he was like, one day I'm going to be able to buy a Nautic G23. And he bought my boat. And just the mindset to say, I will be there, visualize it. And Fastlane, I think, is a really good thing for young entrepreneurs. That's why we have programs for young entrepreneurs under 28, a little like YPO and some club, to really motivate them and be sure it's not just successful people, it's people who are becoming successful. And that is really, really important. So we obviously have 3 tiers in Fastlane, the people who are becoming, we have the one who are and the one who are really successful. But all those people help each other to a certain way. The least successful going to be motivated by the one driving la Ferrari. But the guy with LaFerrari going to be really happy to have extend his network and have, young people around him that he can motivate. And that is really the magical combo with Fastlane.
I love that. I wanted to circle back real quick. You touched on Turkey. And I just want to say real quick, I've been to Turkey twice. And so if you're a listener out there, you have to go to Turkey. You have to visit it.
Incredible.
I've been there twice now. I'm telling you right now, from going to Cappadocia, where they have like the hot air balloons, you do a little sunrise. And it's where you see all those famous sunrise photos where everyone's taking photos and you got hundreds of hot air balloons in the sunset or in the horizon rather. Beautiful place. Awesome. You got to do it. And then from there you go down south to like Antalya. Antalya is like a little blend of like Miami and maybe Italy right there on the southern coast, the Turkish Riviera. Then you just take the Turkish Riviera up the coast. And I'm telling you right now, the most gorgeous coastline that you ever see. It's beautiful cliffs. It's very, very like isolated, so you don't see a ton of population.
Safe.
It's safe. It's very affordable. The people are the nicest people you ever meet. The food, the Turkish tea, the baklava is so good. And you make your way up the Turkish Riviera, you hit little towns like Kaş. Like literally Kaş is amazing. It's like this town right on a freaking cliff. Everywhere you go, it's just like amazing views, the best sunsets you ever see. You see the Greek islands off in the horizon in the sunset. Fethiye, Bodrum right now is literally blowing up. It's like all the mega yachts are going in there. They got the high-end shopping, all the high-end stuff there. All the high net worth individuals are pulling their yachts into Bodrum. It's dope. And it's really becoming the up-and-coming spot for a lot of people to visit. You got Izmir, and then you got Istanbul, of course. Istanbul has a lot of culture, to say the least. But I'm telling you guys right now, if you're listening to this, you got to go visit Turkey. It is one of my favorite spots in the entire world. Hey guys, this podcast has officially become a top 1% business and real estate podcast. And as a special thank you to you guys, the listeners, I'm going to be doing a giveaway between now and July 31st, giving away $1,000 cash prizes, custom built swag compliments of built, and yacht tickets to come out to our yacht meetups this summer out here in San Diego. To enter to win, simply drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, screenshot the review, and email it to giveaway@summerscapital.com, and we'll be selecting lucky winners July 31st. Again, thank you so much for the support. I would not be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now let's jump back into the show.
I agree. It's I've been there a few times and it's fantastic. And you have also Croatia. You have Greece is too expensive right now. I think that's going to have to blow up at some point. But Turkey, I think, is a really good middle ground with everything.
Yeah, and it's the same climate as Greece.
Yeah.
You got the Greek islands, and then Turkey's right there. So the climate's almost identical. The weather is almost identical. It's about half the price, and it's undervalued destination right now for sure. I'm curious for you, man. What are your thoughts on these luxury SUVs like the Lamborghini Urus? You mentioned you had one for a little bit.
I had one
you sold
for 6 months. I honestly, it's fantastic. But it doesn't. I said to Nicole a couple of days ago, I will probably never buy a daily driver that is more than a certain price. I think luxury. First of all, nobody know that, but to buy a Urus today in California, you only have one insurance who insure you. I didn't know that before buying the car. So
say that again.
You only have one insurance company that can insure the Urus in US.
Really?
In California, not in US. Because that's the whole issue with the Urus. So I got the car delivered, was really happy. So I called my broker, Josh Schwartz, and with one of our sponsors. And I was like, hey, can you insure the car? He called me and he said, no, we didn't find any insurance company. I'm like, that's a joke. You serious about it? He's like, no, sorry. I'm like, but how am I going to do? I already have the car because for 1 month you can drive without a new insurance. He said, I don't know. So I called O'Gara. I'm like, how are we going to do? And they pretty much told me only AAA. So I called AAA and I was like, hey, can you find an insurance? They were like, yeah, it's $1,000 per month. I'm like, no, I'm not paying $1,000 per month. They said, so don't get the car. And what they explained me with the Urus, people use it as a daily driver when it's an exotic car. So when you crash, when you have an accident, the car has so many robberies that pretty much the parts and everything are way more expensive. So no insurance are covering Urus in California. It's really dramatical. The other thing we talk about devaluation, the Urus was really strong for years. Right now it's a lot of them, so it's going down. And I think if you have all the means in the world, the Urus is one of the best cars in the world. I love it. If I have to choose one car for the rest of my life, maybe a Turbo S or Urus, because it does everything. I can take it to fast lane. I can bring to really cool events. I can go ski with it. I can go off-road with it. I can go, you can technically pull a boat. I will not do it, but you can. So the Urus is incredible. But spending $270 to $280 on a daily driver, I think it's a waste of money. You know me. I drive a Ford Raptor for every day. I want to be low profile when I drive around.
Wait, hold on. You still drive the Ford Raptor?
Yes.
Really? That's one of your two cars?
Yeah, I have a little more right now.
How many cars do you own right now?
Right now, I have four, and Nicole and I, we share one car.
Okay. So you have 5.
So I have 4, but the 296...
You're just telling me you don't want to have more than 2 cars. You got 5.
The 296 is for sale, and Nicole's car is Nicole's car. So the Turbo S is here to stay. The Revelto is here to stay. The Raptor is here. So it's going to be 3, and the 296 right now, as we speak, is for sale.
Dude, I got to be honest, man. When I got the G-Wagon, I drove the Urus and the G-Wagon. And for me, I didn't feel like it felt like a real SUV. Like it just kind of felt like a kind of a cross.
I get it.
Like a crossover. When I drive the G-Wagon, it feels like a real SUV. It's heavy. It feels like bulletproof. And when you close the doors on G-Wagon, it feels like you're closing like a door to like a bank safe. It's very heavy. The Lamborghini Urus, I didn't have that same feeling. And I felt personally, I was like, if I'm going to buy a Lamborghini, I'm going to buy a real Lamborghini, not a fucking crossover. You know what I mean?
I get it. The problem with the G63 on my side for Fastlane is a awful car.
It's a what?
Terrible car.
Oh, to do rallies?
Yeah, do
rallies.
I
would never do the rally in G-Wagon.
If it's a straight line, it's fine. But at the moment you have turn, is absolutely terrible. And the reality, the Urus is perfection. It's really a great car. And when we were during COVID, the car was pretty much $3,000 per month on the lease. I might have kept that for a really long time. Right now, with the interest rate, the price of the car, the insurance...
It doesn't make sense.
Didn't make sense. I didn't lose money on the car, driving it for 6 months. That car helped me to get a Revelto really early. I'm blessed for it. I wish I could have kept it. Didn't work. But I was saying also last week, right now you can start to find Urus for $130, $150. We were talking about the investment. If you want to have a car that does everything, you want to have a car for your kids, your wife, travel, and everything, buy your Urus with 20,000, 25,000 miles. The reality is the car is an Audi. You can do whatever you want. It's an Audi RS Q8. And it's a car that's going to be really good.
Still qualifies for code section 179. It's essentially, the Audi QRS8 is essentially the Urus. It's a poor man's version of the Urus, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And you can do
for
also,
100,000 less.
Yeah. But for the same price, to be honest with you, I will get a Cayenne Turbo S. Right now, you find a 2021, 2022, you find them for 100. This car is hybrid, so you can drive about 20 miles per day on full electric, so it's going to be really good. And the reality is going to be as fast as a Urus, more comfortable, more discreet for every day, because don't forget when you drive a Urus, you are high target on the road. So that's kind of also the
What do you mean
issue.
when you say high target? Like, I understand people are going to get their phones out. They're going to, like, do a double take. But, like, when you say hard target, by, like, police officers?
No, robberies.
Robbery? Really?
Yeah. Like,
really? Why is that?
High-end cars right now in California is complicated. I'm really careful.
Now, what would be... There's no difference between driving a Urus and a Huracan, right? You're still going to be a target, right?
Yes, but it's a little difference because the Urus, somehow you're not going to have the impression that you drive that. The other one, you're going to be a little more aware of your surrounding. So, for example, when you drive a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, or whatever, if I drive back home, I'm going to be really careful around. You drive a Urus, you're like, oh, it's a daily driver and everything.
Yeah, it's not that big of a
Also, it's a
deal.
little higher.
Soccer moms drive the Urus.
I will not want my wife to drive a Urus around. No.
What about a G-Wagon?
Yeah, maybe more because, first of all, the windows are better. It's more safe.
Safe if you have kids in the back.
Exactly.
I don't think anyone... If you think you're going to get in a car accident with a G-Wagon and win, I think the G-Wagon's going to run a lot of cars over.
You know, one of my dream cars it's a G-Wagon Square.
What's that?
It's a high...
that's the high-end version of the G-Wagon, right?
Yeah, I mean...
It's like the $400,000 version.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
This car is incredible. If you could pull a boat, I will have that
it's sexy.
heads down. It's sexy. Let's talk about attention. So if you want to get every attention in the world, you drive this car around Los Angeles, San Diego, every people going to take their phone out, take pictures, ask you what you are doing. That's a really high one. What I like about the G is pretty much it's timeless. And I said this discussion to a real estate investor who has two. He has a Square and he has a G63 yesterday. I told him he should start to buy every previous generation. If you buy one from the first year to this year, they're going to go up in value long term.
Oh, every G-Wagon from each generation?
Every generation, because it's a car that, look at the Range Rover right now from 1990. It's $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. It's crazy. Think about the Gs. They are still pretty low in price, but it's as rare. And the reality is they are as good as an old Range Rover. And if you start to collect them, I think long term, people are going to do really good on it. In
25, 30 years.
25, even less. If you buy a 1990 G-Wagon, you are fine for the rest of your life, I think, with a car.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, I ended up going G instead of the Urus because of the reasons I mentioned. But I will say both cars do qualify for code section 179. Exactly. And I will say if you are looking for an SUV like that qualifies for code section 179, the worst time and the best time that you could probably buy that car is probably at the end of the year. It's the best time because you're going to get some last minute depreciation, but it's also the worst time because dealerships know it, that people are looking to get some last minute bonus depreciation. And so they will actually mark up their SUVs and their cars that weigh more than 6,500 pounds, knowing there's going to be a big spike in demand.
Yes and no. Okay, because the reality at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year, every dealer and every salesperson getting a bonus.
And
the biggest bonus is the last month of the year, because let's say I give you an example. If you sell 100 Mercedes or if you sell 150 or like 101, your bonus can be double. I give you like a rough number. So they're going to do anything to qualify from the bonus from Mercedes, from the bonus from that dealer, from that brand to get it. So I think the best time is from November 1st to end of December to buy a car.
That is true. I used to sell cars back in the day. This is back in 2004 or 2005 when I was in college. Massey Nissan. And yeah, that is true.
And you it's about volume.
Last day of the month and last day of the quarter, we would even get rid of cars at a discount because, you know, we might get a bonus for getting out 20 cars for the month. And then it's like, hey, if you're at 18, 19 going into the last day, it's like that extra car or two might mean the difference of you getting a bonus and not getting a bonus.
I'm going to give you an example. My lawyer was looking for a really specific car. It's a Boxster GT. Boxster RS is really rare. And with my connection, I ask a lot of people. I'm connected to like 20 Porsche dealership. And this car right now trades for between $50,000 to $100,000 over sticker. So I call
over sticker?
Over sticker.
That's about what the G-Wagon is. About $50K over sticker.
Exactly. Next time you want to buy one, call me. I will help you.
Dude, I never knew this was a thing.
Yeah.
I went, when I was buying the G-Wagon last year, I ended up getting one that was like a year old. It had 5,000 miles, but Carlsbad Mercedes had a brand new G-Wagon. It was listed online for like 200 and something thousand, low 200s. And so I go in there, I didn't even test drive it. I looked at it and I was like, hey, we'll take it. And then the guy brings out the pricing sheet and the list price on it was low 200s. The price that he came out with was $50K over the sticker. And I'm like, dude, what the heck? He's like, yeah, this is what we're selling them for right now. And I was like, I didn't know that was a thing, that they go on their website and say, this is the price. And then you go in there, but it's $50K markup.
So next time I will help you. What you do, you call 10, 15 dealers. Usually at the end of the year, end of the quarters, they want to sell one. So the story with the Porsche, my lawyer wanted to get one. We found one in Santa Barbara, and it's last month, end of October. And he said, look, I have one, no over sticker, but he has to buy it before the end of the month. Otherwise, we don't get our bonus. But their bonus is not money, it's more cars. And unfortunately, he could not go there in person to get the delivery of the car. Lost the car, and the car, he could not sell it at sticker. And he would have made a lot of money. So the point about it, sometimes they're getting like, not automatically money, but they can get more cars or something. So the incentive for those dealers are really, really big.
Yeah, I can imagine. Dude, when you came on the first podcast, I didn't know anything about the car club. I didn't know anything about it. And I went into the interview with like an open mind, and you were telling me all about the club and like the networking events and the parties and the rallies. And I was like, dude, right after the podcast ended, I was like, Clem, I'll want to join. And so I joined. I think I joined the same day. Yeah, same day. I like to take action. When I want something, I just go do it. And so I like to move quick. Money likes speed. Poverty likes indecision. And so I joined, but I got to say, dude, I've met a lot of good people being in that club. I've made a lot of good friends and like all badasses. Like the majority of the folks in there are like good human beings, but like really doing badass shit. And it's definitely inspired me in a lot of different ways. And I feel like I've seen a good amount of my growth, from being a part of the club. So I just want to say thank you, dude.
No, but thank you for joining. Yeah. It's been an incredible year. I had the best time of my life with you on the yacht this year. You took your boat too. It was really cool.
Yeah, we had four
so
boats.
That was nice. We took the Fastlane boat too, so that was pretty nice. We got the deliveries the day before. We have a partnership, as you know, with M2 and Nautic. They delivered me the boat in 2.5 weeks to have it for the yacht party, so that was pretty cool. And you know what I like about Fastlane is like the vending process. So you have an interview, you have to be voted to get in. I was with some members of Orlando this weekend, and they told us they went to a rally on Sunday, and they said, Clement, it was all over the place. They let everybody get in. It was absolutely terrible. And we had dinner on Sunday, and they said, thanks you and thanks God for venting people, because we obviously it's not everybody's perfect, but I would say 90% of the people around the world have the same energy. And of course, it's going to be different line of business, different line of people, but the reality is they all have the same passion for cars, for networking, for watches, for entrepreneurship, for, traveling. And that's really what is important. You can travel today to DC, Austin, Vegas, Miami. It's going to be the same line of people because we know who we want and who we don't want in the club.
Yeah, I like that. And I think the cool thing about these groups, and you just nailed it right there, is like people that are moving the needle, people that are growing, people that are like forward thinking and like live a life of abundance, they have a certain energy about them. And once you start getting around that energy, like it's contagious. And now, because of my circle is really all just that energy, the people around me, the second I spot someone that like has a different energy that's not aligned with this thought, I'm like, dude, I identify it right away. I'm like, I can't be around it.
And we had this discussion this morning. In 2 minutes, 10 seconds, we know who we will accept in Fastlane or not. So the way their body language, the way they present, the way they talk is really important to visualize it. We were talking about people who are going into a car dealership to flex in front of their girlfriend. Same idea. We have people who are like, okay, they're just going to be here to flex, and we don't want that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, dude, you mentioned this before we started recording, and I found this very, very interesting that I want to share with the listeners. Is you said there's a red flag for people that work at the dealerships. If someone comes to a dealership to test drive a car, a nice car, we're talking Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Bugattis, and they bring a girl with them, it's typically a red flag for the dealership because that guy is most likely just trying to flex and impress the girl.
Yeah. And again, if he's married, they're going to know it's different. You're not going to try to impress your wife. She knows you. But if you go and it's a random girl, it's going to be there. The dealership going to laugh so hard. They're going to say, come back, And I think if you go, we had this discussion, but I love to have my girlfriend on a car delivery. I will not go spec the car with her. I go with my best friend. I go with my business partner. I go with someone who that's a fun time. I just go with the dealer, and it's different. If you go to there with a girl, usually you're not going to buy the car on the spot. You're not going to do the financing in front of her. All these things are pretty boring. So if you do that in front of a woman, you didn't understand anything pretty much.
Yeah, I could see that. And to be honest with you, not all girls are going to love going to a dealership because it's time consuming, right? You're driving different cars, you're going over different specs, you're going over different trim options. And you could spend 5-6 hours before you pick out the right thing. And then a lot of girls might be interested in a test drive or seeing what you end up ultimately selecting. But like you said, I don't think most girls will be into drive.
I see. I mean, I don't work in a dealership. I never did, but I go there quite often for all my partners and everything. Usually when you go, they go with friends, with their kids or something a little different. The wife cares, but she doesn't care if you have carbon seats or no carbon seats. That's not going to change her life. She's going to care that you have a marble kitchen, but you know,
yes.
the rims or whatever, that's not going to change her life pretty much.
That's funny, dude. I got a question for you because you've drove multiple Lamborghinis, you drove multiple Ferraris. Is it better to buy a Lamborghini or is it better to buy a Ferrari?
It's different. Look, I own both. I'm not married to any brand. I think the brands are not married to the customers. I have every brand pretty much, except I will say maybe Lamborghini. Porsche, if you want the best Porsche today, you can be the best customer, you're not going to get them. To get to the best customer of Ferrari, you need to buy so many cars. That is an endless game. So the those brands are not married to you, so I'm not married to them pretty much. And I'm not going to say driving a Ferrari or driving a Lambo is better. I'm going to say the pleasure of driving is pretty much the same. You're not going to bring exactly the same attention. Ferrari, you're going to bring maybe a little more like older crowd. So it's going to be like trying to be nice to you, but it's like they are really entitled sometimes. Lamborghini on the street, you're going to have way more attention for some reason.
Why is that?
What is the opposite?
Because the Ferrari is a more expensive vehicle, generally speaking.
But he has something in US, maybe because of Batman, maybe because of the Wolf of Wall Street. I don't know, but we bring something special. It's the opposite in Europe. In Europe, if you drive a Ferrari, people are crazy on you on the road. If you drive a Lamborghini, they kind of are mean to you. And it's really interesting in US. But I'm not going to say one is better. I think every brand has specificities that I like. And that's why I like to kind of change one in a while. I think Lamborghini in terms of customer service right now is 10 steps ahead compared to Ferrari. Ferrari is a care about orders, but their customers, even their top customers, I have, 1,500-1,600 members. Every top customers or small customers from Ferrari, they complain. My car getting delivered in 2 years. I have to order too many cars. They don't take care of me. And of course, when you are top 1% customers at Ferrari, you will think that you have this level of attention, and even those people, they don't have it. Small example, one of our customers buy millions of Ferraris a year. They make him pay to go to the race. I mean, it's like the special package, just give him a ticket. It's going to make him happy. No, he has to pay to go to a race. Sometimes they invite you, but it's pretty rare. So I think Ferrari, in terms of brand recognition, in terms of Formula One, it's my favorite brand for Formula One. I love Charles Leclerc, love Ferrari. But I think the customer's orientation should be a little better on the brand. And I tell you something, it's going to be my second Lamborghini. The process with O'Gara has been 10 steps ahead compared to any experience that I had before.
Dude, it's funny you said the attention with the Lamborghini, you're going to get more eyeballs on the streets with a Lamborghini than driving a Ferrari. I get a little bit of like head turns when I'm driving the G-Wagon. I get more when I drive the R8. But I drove Jalen's Lamborghini STO for like a few days, and oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like it. I was like, this is what it's like to be the new hot girl in the fucking school. Like literally everywhere I go, it was whether it was a old person, a little kid, like everyone just stopped, got their phones out, and just started videotaping. I've never seen anything like it. And part of it is the wrap, but it was like this, it's a Lamborghini. And it's got the wrap, and I've never seen that kind of attention before, ever. It was crazy.
I have a funny story about her car. I don't know if I should tell on the podcast.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I drive in West Hollywood with the pink Lamborghini from Jalen, and I'm with one of my buddy. We're going to an Fast and Heaven, and I need to buy a Starbucks or something like that. I don't remember. And I stop in West Hollywood, and I go out, and I have 3 gay dudes who look at me. They're like, "Oh wow, we love the car. Can we go with you?" And I'm like, "Sorry guys, I have a girlfriend." And they all look at me. They're like, "Yeah, right." You need to put the car in the video so that people understand this car get crazy attention. And sometimes on the drive, we have to be careful because it's a lot of people on the freeway want to be next to it. And also on the picture, you only see the car. So it's so pink, so brilliant. It's like a unicorn on the road. And I said to Jillian sometime, put in matte black, put in a different color. She's like, never. I love this color so much. And on my side, is really good advertising for Fastlane. She has logo all around. I get about, it's a car from any car in the world with Fastlane where we get the most tag online.
Really?
That's me. Yeah. Every time she drives it, you drive it. When you drove it last time, I knew you drove it.
Why?
You know how?
Why?
Because I got 3 pictures on Instagram of people tagged it. And the problem is so obnoxious outside that you can put this car anywhere. I'm going to have people tag us. So every time, this car is the best advertising for Fastlane and us, you know, especially.
I got a few messages. People were like, "Hey, whose white G-Wagon is this at Jalen's driveway?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know what's going on over there."
Exactly. We're not going to go there. It's been some drama about it, but it's in terms of advertising, this car is next level. And we go back into it, especially having a woman driving it, a pretty blonde woman driving it who is really smart, and you know she's like badass driving this car is next level.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious, what is the best car out there for a couple different things? So first one is, what's the best car out there someone could buy if you want to go do a rally?
A Porsche Turbo S.
Why?
Because it's reliable, it's 4-wheel drive, the technology is good, you have Apple CarPlay, you have a truck, you have the back seat for your luggages. So if you do a 2-3 days rally, heads down the best one. I will say after 720, let's not talk about the devaluation, but let's talk about the pleasure. Super pretty, super fun, super good looking on the road. You have all the Ferraris, so the 296. The 296, I did 2,500 miles in a year with this car. I love it. I can drive the same. We drove around Monaco and France for a week with a car. Didn't get an issue on my back. You have the screen as the Audi R8. The Audi R8 is really good for rallies because you have the screen in front of you with a map. It's something I really enjoy. You have the same on the 296. Urus, we go back into it. If you do long-term, long rally, is
I'm not
really,
buying a Urus.
I know.
I'll say it right now on air. You'll never see me buying driving a Urus.
And I know you are a Ferrari guy. I will get a good 488 Spider. I will get
what years
F8.
do they make those?
They start, I think, in 16 and they go until 20. Those ones are good. I would buy a F8. You need to wait a little more because right now they are still really high and a lot of owners selling them.
Dude, there's a bunch of Fastlane members that have this model Ferrari, and what I found most impressive is it looks like a new generation, but it's like a 2015. It's 10 years old.
So it's a 458.
Which one is that? 458. Yeah.
458.
How much can you buy a 458 for?
You buy it for, depend, coupe, I will say 200, 220.
And the body style looks brand new.
Yeah, but it's old. The reality for rallies, we talk about it, you don't have Bluetooth on first generation, you don't have Apple CarPlay, you don't have, sometimes you cannot even connect your phone. The car, like the brakes and everything, you like technology. I know
I
you.
do, yeah.
So
I got to have the bells and whistles inside. So for me, one thing I don't like about certain exotics is certain exotics, like their cockpits are kind of like vanilla, kind of stripped. They look dated. They look tired. To me, I'm like, if I'm buying a $300,000 car or one day a $400,000 car, I want to feel like I'm sitting in a $400,000 cockpit. And so I like the bells and whistles. I like the technology, all that sort of stuff.
And so the 296 is magical for that. The technology is amazing. The steering wheel is a little hard to use, especially on a drive. But when you get used to it, it's not better. It's terrible. But they got better on the new Ferraris. But the technology is amazing. On the Turbo S, the sound system is incredible. It's really easy to use. So it's something for me. Can you imagine I did probably this year 35,000 miles. I did 37 events. For me, a sound system is really important because I spend so much time in my car that I need a really good sound system.
By the way, the Lamborghini Huracan STO
has
the shittiest sound system I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, what? How much is that car brand new?
400, 450.
That's a $450,000 car brand new. And the sound system sounds like a fucking Pinto. Like a Honda Civic has a better sound system than this $450,000 Lamborghini.
Yeah, so I drive this car with my headphones.
You drive it with your headphones?
Yep.
Why can't they put a nice sound system in? People are spending $450,000.
So you talk about what is the best car
Doesn't make any sense.
Rallies. It's not a rally car. This is a racetrack car. It is beautiful, the racetrack car. I took it on the racetrack because of Jelly.
The STO is?
Yes. you don't have a truck.
Now the Huracan, like Technica, and some of the other model Huracans, do they have nicer sound systems?
Way better.
So it's just it's a weight thing.
Yeah, and even the issue with STO, to be honest with you, I cannot even connect my phone. So you have to turn off the car, connect your phone every time. Last time I gave up. I just put my headphones. I was really happy with it. And the STO has no luggage space. So last time, Jeline gave me her car to go to LA. She was taking another car, so I drove her car. I had a car following me with the luggages because the reality of it's you don't even have a truck space. It's a video we went viral last week. I need to find this video for you of a guy for 10 minutes trying to close his trunk on a STO with his luggage, and he could not. The reality is that's the best car for racetracks. This is not the best car for road trip. So you need to really do the distinction. At the opposite, the Technica, the Evo, those cars
have
are
really
fantastic.
high-end sound system? Really?
Yes.
Okay.
High-end, I would not go there. It's
so
not
it's
as
not
good as
every
your
Lamborghini. It's just the STO.
Correct.
Okay.
But apparently, and I didn't get my Revelto, I didn't test, but apparently the sound system is pretty horrible, and it doesn't.
Well, then just upgrade it.
Yeah, but you lose the warranty. So I'm gonna see how I do. And the second issue that he has, he doesn't have an upgraded sound system. He doesn't have the Apple CarPlay. So that's an issue.
I bought a $500,000 boat, and this thing is brand new, $500,000, and the sound system was fucking shit. The first thing I did was replace the entire sound system, inside and outside, and oh my gosh, it makes such a big difference. But I'm just surprised, like, why do people want to spend that kind of money on a car or a boat and not have a good sound system? To me, it's a no-brainer.
So have you been to the Fastlane Paragon?
It almost makes the driving experience or the experience of driving a boat or a car that much better for the customer if the sound quality is legit. So why the fuck wouldn't they just spend another $5,000 and do it right?
So on the Fastlane boat, on the vessel, go here is the best sound system.
What Fastlane boat?
The Paragon, the G23. The Nautic.
Is that your car? Or is that your boat?
Yeah.
We're calling it the Fastlane boat now. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
I like
we have logo everywhere because we have a partnership with Nautic and M2O.
Okay.
So
the wakeboard boats have the best sound systems.
But this one, you have 4 subs, you have 18 speakers. When you wakeboard, you hear the sub. When you surf, the thing is almost vibrating
because you get the arch speakers going back.
Yeah, that's really, really incredible.
Yeah, it's funny because when I pull up on the boat now, like if I'm pulling up to the dock, if I'm pulling up to Catalina, I'll crank the music and people know like we're pulling up.
So now you have a good sound system.
Oh, it fucking bumps. It's got the arch speakers in the back that face down towards the water. So if you're out in the water of the toys and all that sort of stuff, people know you're there. And it hits hard, but that's what I want.
For sure.
No one wants to get in a boat and not be able to hear the music. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Big fan of everything you're doing. And I'm excited to follow on your journey. I'm excited to see where you go next with this whole Fastlane thing. It's changed my life in so many ways. Where can the folks get in touch if they want to learn more? If there's a listener listening to this and they're like, hey, I want to join Fastlane, where can they go?
Yeah, so, Fastlane since last year grew up to 5 chapters to right now is 17. We're going to be at 21. So this journey to scale has been incredible. Don't forget that when you join one chapter, you can go to any chapter around the world, including Monaco, including Miami, including LA, everywhere. So pretty much your network going to be so big, so fast. And, you really going to meet people that you will have never had the chance to meet. So go on our website, fastlandedrive.com. Go to our social media, YouTube. Our YouTube blew up about a month ago. We talked about that with Lauren when we arrived. YouTube is a really hard game. Instagram, go to Fast and Drive. We are everywhere on Fast and Drive. And we want to meet you. We want to be friends with you, travel the world with you, and share good time together.
And I'll say this, even if you're not a big car guy, like I'm not a big car guy, I joined for the networking. The parties, the events are like second to none. Like you're out on the yacht, you guys have really, really cool events, nice properties. Shoot, there was a party at Andrew White's house back in April. It was your anniversary event. You guys had who was it that came and performed? You guys had a old school rapper come out, Twister. Twister came and did a special performance.
We were supposed to have Ja Rule, and he had an issue last minute,
really?
So we had
That's
Twister.
Funny.
Was really good. And we raised $50,000 for Make-A-Wish Foundation, So Rolex gave us a watch that was pretty cool. So we had it's a good journey, and people are here for the fun. So thank you so much for having me, Rich. I'm excited to be back maybe next year, and we go from there.
Of course. He's Clem Connor. Rich Stormers listeners, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.